Okay, welcome back to talk about the assessment requirements for 4006. So what we have to do for this subject, once again, the vast bulk of this subject has been covered in your planning and building approval process. So we've got this one's about import and transpose information from external sources into digital building design drawings. So once again, we've got information on importing files, so importing from Revit, images, etc. And by all means, go through these resources and have a look at those. But much of this is what you've done already throughout the subject. So those. And then once again, your office filing protocol, which should be very familiar to you, as is AS 1100 for the drafting standard. For this, we have for the assessment task, we have two tasks. One is project contributors. So that's where you nominate what other consultants contribute to the project, and then also the portfolio. So that portfolio is going to be very similar to the portfolio that you produced for the 4003 subject. So we'll have a look at those assessments now. So once again, we've got our PDF here for our portfolio, and then the editable Word table for that as well. So click on that and open up that portfolio. Once again, in a nutshell, that portfolio requires that you produce something like a Word document and then collate evidence of where you have done these various different activities throughout the planning and building subjects. So we've got ability to import drawings from external sources. So footing plan from engineer. So show where you've brought in that footing plan from the engineer. This one, site plan sheet, CAD file insert. So where you've brought that site plan in. Now that should actually be project 1. We didn't bring in a site plan in project 2. So project 1. Show where you've brought in that site plan. So we but modify that for your submission if you wish. So show where you've brought that in your portfolio, and then provide some reference to that portfolio in this section here to show that you've met those requirements. So that should be fairly fine and fairly straightforward. Then we have this section here, project contributors. This one is a fairly simple table that talks about who contributes to the production of that drawing set or that documentation. So if we've got an example here for sustainability house, their role is to calculate energy efficiency of a house, and their responsibility is to establish if a 6-star rating was achieved. So if we then have a look at our geotechnical engineer, the role of the geotechnical engineer is to provide soil samples and bore logs to the structural engineer, and their responsibility is to ensure that those soil samples are assessed. Actually, I can't think of the Australian sound off the top of my head, but that those soil samples produced are representative of the site and provide good information to our structural engineer for determining those footings. Then the role of our structural engineer is to determine the footings required, and their responsibility is to design those footings in accordance with the information supplied by the geotechnical engineer and in accordance with AS 2870, etc. So we can fill out these tables for roles and responsibilities of these various different contributors. And so for some of you who worked in industry, this may actually be a very quick exercise. For those that don't, it would probably be a very good reminder exercise of what each of these consultants do and what they're responsible for. So it's about filling that out and then submitting that. And that's our 2 assessment requirements for 4006. So I'll flip back to that one just quickly. So that's our assessment requirements. They're updated here. So our contributors upload that one there, and then portfolio upload that one there. And that's it for import and transpose information from external sources. Thank you.